What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. Let's dive into an enhancement shaman build, the storm build for enhance, something that I've tried in the past. There's a lot of variations on this build right now. I'm going to show you some footage in a siege I did a plus 10 siege with it. My gear, let me just say really quickly right off the bat before I get into the build, my gear is okay. It's not great, okay? I've got heroic weapons still. My trinkets are like kind of terrible. They're just generic trinkets that don't... I haven't been building for enhance. I'm not an enhance main right now. I'm doing like resto shaman for the raid, but I did pick up a nice ring recently that has mastery on it, but my stats are not really where I want them to be, so just keep that in mind. For this particular build, this is kind of an old school, pure, deeply rooted build. If you want this to work, you really do need more haste. You need probably like 25% haste and then like just go pure mastery. I have a whole bunch of crit because I'm like a resto shaman. Okay, here's the talents that I've kind of cooked up. Again, remember that the whole concept around deeply rooted is not about pressing storm strike anymore. It's about using your spenders, because your spenders are the things that trigger deeply rooted. It was recently nerfed from 7% down to 3% proc chance, which sounds horrific, but it's actually not too bad once you start playing properly. Once you start really emphasizing your spenders and going all in on pressing your spenders, you'll actually notice that it procs a decent amount. Now, I still think they should buff the proc chance, but that's a discussion for another time. We're taking, I should have taken elemental spirits. I took Alpha Wolf because I was doing like a totemic build a minute ago and then for like another video, and just forgot to change this talent. So this is actually a massive mistake. The damage is still okay, and the contribution from the dogs was okay actually, 5.3%. But really, you should go elemental spirits, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's what your talent should look like. We do have Voltaic Blaze. Voltaic Blaze was good. It wasn't the craziest thing in the world, but it was good. The most important things in this build are the Ascendance talents and Primordial Wave. And I didn't really understand the significance of this, and I'll show you in the video, but Primordial Wave plus like Tempest is an insane combination. It doesn't make Tempest hit every single target, but it still accounts for a ridiculous amount of damage because of the extra lightning bolts that you get, and I'll show you that in a minute. We do have Tempest Strikes. We don't need LE Blast because we're focusing on pressing Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning or Tempest. We have to press those spenders, not LE Blast. That's the whole build right there. I did take Unrelenting Storms for extra single target help, which was really good on boss fights, and that's about it. I think there's some modifications you could make to this tree, but like we don't need Legacy anymore because it's not about Storm Strike, it's about your spenders, which is really nice. Yeah, the tree is fine to me. Let's just dive right into the video, and I'm going to get into my notes here. So the opening pack, nothing crazy happens here actually. Again, remember, we're trying to get those deeply rooted procs, and the only way to do that is to use your spenders. So talents like Thorum's, not Thorum's, Static Accumulation, which is right above Thorum's, is really significant now because it gives you a 20% chance to reset the Maelstrom weapon stacks that you spent, which is a huge deal on Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning or Tempest. So when you get those refunds, that helps to fuel the build towards getting another deeply rooted proc, because again, it's all about your spenders. So my opening damage here wasn't great. We're going to lust this second pack. This is pretty common. Comes Bloodlust. I get Primordial Wave into a juicy Lightning Bolt, and you can see just by itself the damage is really good from a Primordial Wave Lightning Bolt combo. Imagine if I had Elemental Spirits for even more nature damage, it would have been even better. But I'll show you later, when you do Primordial Wave plus Tempest, it's a redonkulous amount of damage. Like it'll take you from doing like 5 million overall damage to like 35 million. Like one cast of Tempest with a Primordial Wave can do like 30 million damage. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's kind of crazy. Okay, I do get an Ascendance proc at the very end here on this single target guy. It's kind of cool actually to help nuke him down, but this was not obviously the best use of an Ascendance proc. But you can see the Raider does melt when we have that Ascendance proc there. Like, look at that. That was crazy. So even though my damage was lower than the other two DPS here, it helped to contribute on that little moment there. Now we trolled completely in this section here. The tank ran in, like this part was fine, but then we got to here and then people just started dying. I think this was the first example. Here we go. So I have a Primordial Wave buff here. My Primordial Wave buff is up here. And I'm about to press Tempest. Now watch my damage, okay? I'm doing 4 million total damage, okay? There's a Lava Lash. Here comes my Tempest. 5.5 million total damage. Then I press Tempest, it goes to 13 million, and then all the way to 27 million because of the extra lightning bolts and the lightning rods that I add to everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lightning rods, right? There's no lightning rods here right now, but because we did Primordial Wave and we spread our lava lashes and then we did Tempest, it did a huge Tempest and then a bunch of lightning bolts as well. It spread all the lightning rods and it did a ridiculous amount of damage. Suddenly we're doing 2.3 million per second and we were doing 500k per second. Look at that. Boom, boom. Like, that's the combo I'm talking about. Primordial Wave plus Tempest. Get it into your brain. This is a huge combo that you want to be trying, okay? Then the tank and the healer like trolled a bit and died, and then we ran in and we pulled this pack, and then we trolled and we died, and that's good. And then we pulled again and we got past this pack finally, and there you go. We're gonna just move on to the boss, I think. But that combination right there of Primordial Wave plus Tempest, it used to hit every enemy with Tempest like a months ago, but now it just does one Tempest plus a bunch of lightning bolts, which is fine. It still does a ridiculous amount of damage. And again, if I had elemental spirits, I would have had some nature dogs out, very, very likely, and the damage would have been even higher. So it's really cool. The Primordial Wave combo is really what makes this version of the build work, in my opinion. And remember, guys, this is kind of my own home-cooked version of the Deeply Rooted build. I know that there are other builds that probably utilize things like Fire Nova or whatever. I'm just trying to see kind of the pure, simplest form of this build. Does it work? You know, the very pure baseline, simplest form of the Deeply Rooted Ascendance build, does it work? And I think it does. And you just have to watch out for this Primordial Wave thing, and then get your, when you're actually proccing Ascendance, you have to make sure that you're proccing Tempest as well. This is an unfortunate problem right now, and I'm not sure if it's a bug. Let me know in the comments down below. This used to be a bug. I think it's a bug right now, but when I'm inside Ascendance like I am right now, if I'm pressing, oh, there's a follower on Twitch. If I'm pressing Chain Lightning and I get a Tempest proc, it should be automatically consuming my Tempest, even though I'm pressing Chain Lightning, but it's not doing that anymore. Obviously, Tempest replaces Lightning Bolt. I understand. If you're on a single target boss fight and you're pressing Lightning Bolt and you get a Tempest proc, it will automatically proc the Tempest the next time you're going to press that, right? Inside your Ascendance window. But they had previously fixed it. Blizzard had fixed it so that even if you were pressing Chain Lightning and you got a Tempest proc, it would get the Tempest proc going as well. But now you have to manually cast Tempest inside your Deeply Rooted proc, which is very bad because you want to just be pressing Wind Strike. So I think that that's a bug. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure it's a bug. I would love to hear if you guys know anything more about that. You can see our damage right off the bat here is pretty good. We have no Bloodlust here. Bloodlust is a massive deal for this build, by the way. It really accelerates your damage. Obviously, it accelerates everybody's damage, but I think for this build in particular, it's very strong. Our damage is looking fine here. It's not bad at all. Again, remember my gear, my trinkets, and all that stuff. And when you're doing your comparisons, which I know you guys love to do, just keep in mind that I'm really not in an ideal world here. And I think I'm actually completely trolling because I don't have elemental spirits talented. Even though the alpha dogs are doing a little bit of damage, like giving 20% more damage to Tempest and Lightning Bolt would have been a much, much better use of that talent. So by the end of this fight, what are we doing? We're not bad here. By the end of the fight, oh yeah, we get a big proc at the end here. It's crazy. 1.61 million, not bad. That boss fight has some AoE to it, so I'm cheesing a little bit of damage, let's say. Oh yeah, and then I press one flame shock here and I die. Watch this. And I'm dead. I barely even got the lava lash out. I died to a flame shock. Flame shock, I'm dead. I haven't even pressed lava lash yet. What is that? And then I run back in and I die again, I think, to a circle. Oh yeah, up here. I'm so sad about this. Yeah, actually, the tank does something interesting here. He takes the raider and he pulls it into the next pack so that they don't, because the guys on the end here will not start shooting until this raider is dead, I think. So the tank pulls the raider, and they did say take aim, but I guess he just ran down there and it didn't matter. I'm not sure if he like, look, we're standing back here like we think we're gonna get fired on, and then I literally run into a meteor and die. But I don't know what you guys think about that. I would love to hear what you think. I think that that's a good strat, actually, is to pull the tank, just pulls the raider down that corridor so that they don't really start doing their firing line thing. Here's another great example of Primordial Wave. I've just cast Primordial Wave into a Tempest. I want you to look at the damage, okay? Here it comes. We're going to press Tempest here. We've done... There, we went from 8 million total to 22 million. Like, that's the kind of stuff you can do. Most important combo with this build, by far, is to press Primordial Wave, spread those Flame Shocks around, and then get a Tempest off. And it just pumps a crazy amount of damage. I don't know what to say. It's just absolutely crazy. There's a proc with Ascendance. Getting these Ascendance procs is really good too. In AoE, of course, we're pressing Chain Lightning. Well, actually, you don't have to press Chain Lightning. It'll automatically consume it. But getting a Deeply Rooted proc in single target is really the best case scenario right now, because when you're pressing Lightning Bolt, it can get replaced by Tempest, and then it automatically will trigger the Tempest from your Deeply Rooted Wind Strikes. But right now, I do think it's bugged in that the AoE thing is not working correctly. Well, we were pumping there. 1.7 mil on that AoE pack. Not bad. There's definitely better. You could do more damage probably on Ellie, Shaman, or other specs. I understand that, guys. Please trust me. I get it. I'm just excited about this build, and I think the damage that it's doing, in my opinion, is good enough. It's good enough. It's not that bad. Little trick for you guys if you don't know yet. When Captain Lockwood, if you have a full melee group and Captain Lockwood fills the floor with the circles, you can put a Earthbind totem on her head, and then she won't gut shot anyone. If you don't like CC her with like a slow of some kind, then she will start gut shotting people. So I put the totem down there, and then she just does fiery ricochet. She always does fiery ricochet, but if you don't put a slow totem on there, she will gut shot somebody, and it could be you, and you could die. So just be aware of that. I'll just skip through this fight. There's not too much going on in this fight. Just clear the ads, and then obviously kill the boss at the end. Our damage was a little bit low there compared to the other guys. Our single target is a little bit of a struggle. You have to get lucky, I would say, with at least one Deeply Rooted proc before your single target damage really takes off. And I think I have a clip of that in a minute. This is, again, the banana section here. We get a couple of procs here. So I got my Primordial Wave into Tempest. Once again, watch my damage. Boom. Right up to the top. We were at the bottom of the list. Now we're at the top. We got a second Tempest proc, which is a lot of damage. Then we got an Ascendance proc, which is awesome. Into our Chain Lightnings. Look at our damage here. It just goes boom. So I do enjoy that. That part of the build is still very enjoyable. When you get those Ascendance procs, it feels very, very good. I get stunned by a banana like an idiot. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Those still feel very good. Get around the corner here. You can just keep looking at the damage meters if you want to see like how we're doing from pack to pack. Because oh, this was a crazy moment, actually. This was a really crazy moment. So I press Tempest and I get an Ascendance proc. So I've already Primordial Waved and spread my Flame Shocks. A few of them anyway. I guess I didn't spread too many. I should have spread more here. Oh yeah, I do. So they're all spread now. And then I get a Tempest proc into Ascendance. Boom. And you see all those lightning bolts went out there. If you didn't sort of know what was going on with that before, I want to be really clear about this. You can see all those extra lightning bolts that are going out, right? It doesn't cast additional Tempests, but it does cast additional lightning bolts, and then our damage is crazy. We have an Ascendance proc. We get another Ascendance proc right there. I don't know if you can see the little circle around my character. So now we have 10 seconds of Ascendance, which is really cool. We're all giga dying, but the healer's doing a good job. Tank and the healer are keeping us up. And then we're just able to pop off on this fight and just do crazy amounts of damage with that extra Ascendance proc. Just absolutely huge. So those are the kinds of moments you can hope for. And once again, as I was saying at the very beginning of the video, the 3% proc rate seems a little bit low, but I promise you it actually is okay if you're playing correctly. You really have to be emphasizing pressing your spenders, okay? You really have to press your spenders, and it will reward you for doing so. If you sit at like 10 Maelstrom weapon stacks for a long period of time and don't use a spender, you're going to be in trouble. Look at our damage rate. That was wild. You're going to be in trouble, actually. So you need to be consuming the Maelstrom weapon stacks constantly. Don't let that slip, okay? Because that's the entire build now. At least this build. My kind of weird, cooked up build here, that's how this entire one works. If you want Deeply Rooted to be effective, you must focus on your spenders. He does a double pull here at the end, which is really good for us. We have a Voltaic Blaze coming up here. Boom, I've got it there. So I pop my Voltaic Blaze. That's a couple of Flame Shock. Another Flame Shock over there. Lava Lash. Primordial Wave here. Then we get an Ascendance. Here we go. Ascendance. Right now, we're doing, again, 12 million, 12.37 million, up to 34 million when we consume the Tempest. So it literally triples your damage if you do it right in that moment. And then we kind of pop off here. Another Voltaic Blaze proc from our Flame Shocks. It's really nice, the Voltaic Blaze procs, because it means you don't have to continue to press Flame Shock or Lava Lash that much. You really don't want to press Flame Shock or Lava Lash too much, because Lava Lash especially is a fire spell. And if you take Elemental Spirits, which I should have, because right now I would have had 4 nature buffs. Man, I'm so mad I didn't take that. If you press Lava Lash, then there's a chance you'll summon a Fire Dog, and Fire Dogs are literally useless on this build. Like, not 100% useless, but like Sundering and Flame Shock will get more damage, but they're very useless. The Frost Dogs are absolute, but we're not casting a Frost spell anyway. So anyway, there's that double pull. Lots of damage from us. This build has that consistent DPS profile that every deeply rooted enhanced build always has. Nice consistent damage that you're doing. We got an Ascendance proc here. Here's what I'm talking about. We're automatically consuming Tempests, which is really nice. Whereas in AoE, we have to manually cast Tempests, which really sucks. So anyway, the damage is good so far. Our damage here slows down a little bit and then picks back up again near the end, or I think everybody else comes down to our level, I guess. The other guys are definitely ahead of us on single target. This is the only, I would say, real weakness of this build, is that its single target damage is lacking a little bit here. We're a little bit behind. I had to go in. I don't have my enhanced bars even set up correctly. I kind of messed. I had my potions like not on my bar. Anyway, so by the end of this fight, we're a little bit lower than we should be. We're at about 1 million overall. We're almost catching up to the Survival Hunter. So we're not like behind these guys by like a mile or anything like that. But we're actually pretty competitive in our damage, but we were behind. I want to be honest about that on single target. Okay, last boss fight. This gets really messy, and we'll see what happens here. I actually don't know. I don't have my racial even set up because I'm an idiot. I forgot to set up my racial, so I'll get that set up a little bit later. But the tank or the healer dies right away just from the dot, which is unfortunate. I'm gonna cap totem the affix so that I don't have to like worry about it anymore. And then somebody else do something as well. I'm trying to stay away from it. We have a rogue and a bear and then me, so we have 3 melees. Oh, we have a survival hunter. We have 4 melees on this fight. It's really bad. Okay, you do not want 4 melees on this fight, so we need to like pre-spread as much as we can. Here's Primordial Wave plus Tempest coming up here. This should be a lot of damage. There we go. Went from 640 to like 750 damage per second. Pretty crazy. Okay, so we're kind of catching up to people here. We'll get this guy down. I grabbed my racial here. Like, where is it? Stone form. There it is. Put it on my bar. There we go. So we got my racial now. And then I don't know why people do this. If you ever get the debuff, the ticking dot damage debuff, do not get in the friggin' cannon because you're going to die. Just don't do that. It's really stupid. He's taking damage over time. I'm trying to heal him. The other guy died already. I don't know how the hunter died. I think he was in the cannon, right? I actually don't know what happened there. But that my point still stands. If you have the damage over time, the dot on you, do not get in the cannon, please. You're not a hero. Just survive. Surviving on this fight is priority 1. Okay? So now we got to catch up. We got an Ascendance proc. This is great. We can go Lightning Bolt, which turns into Tempest. And we're getting all these wind strikes. It feels really good. Boom, we're at the top of the charts there. A couple of Ascendance procs, and you're just off to the races, man. It's amazing. There's another Tempest proc. Imagine if I had 25% haste. Like, I don't know. It would just feel so much better. Right now, I'm at like 18% haste with a flask. It just feels horrible. So just keep that in mind once again. Another Tempest proc here. Lightning Bolt, then we're on to the back. Onto the Gripping Terror in the back. I think I end up getting my thing here. I have my racial. I'm hovering my racial because I'm assuming I'm going to get chosen here for the debuff, for the dot. And the rogue is standing right on top of me. I literally can't see him. I did not know the rogue was on top of me. And I press my debuff here and I kill the rogue. So that is literally my fault. But I just couldn't see him. And I was really wanting to get rid of my debuff right away. So what I should have done probably is turned on like friendly nameplates. And then I could have seen. Also, I cap totem the tree here. My cap totem up there? Huge cap totem. Massive. Anyway, that is entirely my fault. I killed the rogue there, and now we only have 3 minutes left to kill this boss fight. And we're down 2 DPS, and we do not have a battle res. So, now I've got the dot on me. I popped Astral Guidance, Astral Shift. And now I'm being careful about walking here. Don't go to the final platform right away, because the slamming tentacle will like activate and he'll start slamming the ground because there's nobody in melee, the demolishing terror. So I'm waiting for the tank to catch up to me. And there we go. The tank catches up and boom, he's there. Now we need to lust and I need to pop off here. So I have primordial wave. I'm waiting for a lightning bolt. Here we go. Now our damage should get a lot higher here and we're going to start to pop off. Inside Bloodlust, like this build does really, really well because you generate and spend so many Maelstrom attacks. I mean, I think every enhancement shaman build is probably like that, but this one, there's an Ascendance proc. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to get a Tempest proc here, I think, as well. There's a Tempest proc. Look at all the wind strikes going off. Like, that's what we're talking about right there. That's why haste is so important, so you can get more GCDs inside of like a deeply rooted proc, right? Very, very important. So yeah, big damage from us. I don't have my racial. I have it up in 20 seconds. It turns out I don't think I end up needing it. I think the other guys... Oh, I get it there. There we go. So I used my totem already, so I don't really have any defensives left. Waiting for Astral Shift to come back. And the Resto Druid's doing a good job. We're back to the Gripping Terror here. I think I end up getting... I try to cap totem the stairs here as best I can for those things. And then I run over here. The bear did a good job of getting it there. Now, I think I get an Ascendance proc here. Yeah, there we go. With a Tempest. Boom. There's Tempest plus an Ascendance proc. Lots of wind strikes. Bloodlust is over now, but we're doing lots of damage. So, yeah, that's the rest of the key. And we have about 27 seconds left to fire the cannon. I just take it upon myself to fire the cannon because I don't know. It's fine. I just wanted to make sure I did it right. And there we go. We got the key done. So, good little plus 11. I got a couple of points for that. And we did 1.42 overall. Not bad. We can see the breakdown here. Tempest is number 1. And then Lightning Bolt, because we're getting those cleaving Lightning Bolts from Primordial Wave. Lots of extra damage. Again, we had some Lightning Bolts hitting for 5.2 million when they crit, which is really, really crazy. That's your damage profile. Tempest, Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Lightning Rod, Crash Lightning. So imagine for a second if I'd had Elemental Spirits and all of this was like 20% stronger or more, right? Imagine for a second if I had Elemental Spirits instead of Alpha Wolf. Like, all my top damage numbers would have been better. And so, again, massive blunder on my part. You can see the damage here would have just been higher. 1.42 mil overall. It could have been 1.5 mil overall, for all I know. It could have been way higher. So that's the breakdown there, though. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Would love to hear from you down there. Again, remember, this is a very basic, standard, deeply rooted build. It's as simple as you can get it. We're not taking things like Fire Nova. We're not getting fancy with this at all. It's very straightforward. It's use your spenders as quickly as you can to proc deeply rooted. That's it. That's what you're doing. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching. I will post the build down below. Love you all. See you in the next one.